So here are 3 ways Season 4 fixed Miguel. And this is broken down into 3 core problems. A predictable initiation of offense, lacking threatening pressure out of savage stance, and small hitboxes. Let's start with the first core problem, that being a predictable startup of his offense. So the problem with Miguel was being too predictable with a down 4+1. And it was hard not to be because outside of this move, there was no reliable way to get into his savage pressure. And you wanted to get into his savage stance because this is where his best tools were stored. Moves such as Savage 2, Savage Down Back 3, and even Savage 1-4, which were very potent and deadly tools he had to scare the opponent and to score massive damage. So to play him with winning in mind, you had to alternatively rely on movement and poking. The problem is that Miguel is subpar when it comes to effective poking tools in comparison to other characters, so he ended up not doing any one thing particularly well. So notably, the down back +3 change means he now has another go-to poke to initiate his offense. Other changes which further varies his offense includes the change of Savage 1 being from -2 on block to 0 on block, up 4+1 being from +3 to +4 on block, and the Savage 3-3 change in terms of the overall frame buffs giving to both strikes out of this string. All of these moves help him to get into his offense faster and just really opens up his offensive game. Furthermore, being able to shift into savage stance from 4+4 means you have a safe, mid, homing, long-range poke that nets you a +6 advantage on hit that is capable of entering savage stance. This is huge. Seriously. Until now, he was extremely predictable in terms of where he wanted to be and how he was entering into savage stance, since every viable transition required him to be at range 1 or closer, exposing him to being counter hit or kept out of his preferred range. Finally, in addition, consider the Season 3 change of shifting into savage stance from his command throw, which adds to this dynamic. The next long-standing core problem is lacking threatening pressure out of his savage stance. The overarching positive addition to his gameplay is being able to more comfortably get into savage stance. However, the buffs didn't stop there. Pre-Season 4, when you were able to get a turn in savage stance, it was more of a one-off guessing game. If the opponent successfully blocked moves like Savage 2 or Savage Down 4+2, then your turn was effectively over. Even strings like the Savage 1 series were one-and-done moves, with Savage 1 being negative on block, Savage 1-1 being -9, and Savage 1-2 and 1-4 being -10. The frame and reaction nerf to his key low Savage Down Back +3 also made it easier to guard against savage pressure. Buffs such as Savage 1 and Savage 4 being 0 on block, homing and counter hit launching properties for Savage Back +1-4, frame buffs to Savage 3 series, and a damage buff to Savage Down +4-3 has made Miguel's pressure and mix-up capability more potent and effective within his savage stance. Additionally, you have to consider the Season 3 and 3.10 change to Savage 1-4, making it a natural combo that wall bounces for monster damage, which generously adds to the effectiveness of his Savage 1 series. I keep bringing up the Savage 1 change because from a gameplay point of view, Miguel can now throw hands with other characters. The change to Savage 1 means that stuff like Savage 1 into 1 or back 1 needs to be respected. Coupled with Savage 4 being 0 on block means that on normal hit, counter hit, or block, Miguel has great options to follow up, making the opponent more hesitant to retaliate after his moves. So to conclude this point, before it was ludicrous to challenge a character like Steve in a battle of punches or frame traps because his frames were superior to Miguel. But now, Miguel can set up frame traps much easier and his stand-up punching game is far more respectable. And for the last core problem, we're going to talk about his small hitboxes. So an argument can be made that he no longer needs hitbox buffs to his frequently used moves since he has gained more tracking options both from inside and outside of savage stance. New tracking ability on moves such as the high move back +2-2, and the mid move Savage Back +1 serves to round out his already favorable tracking and gives Miguel a healthy assortment of solutions to deal with steppers. And regarding the tracking options in Savage stance, they will see more use since he's gained frame buffs to moves leading into Savage stance. This means considering prior buffs on moves that are already tracked, like Savage 4, and moves that recently gained tracking such as Back down 4+4 and even Sav down back +4 will have much more utility as the environment to which these moves become more functional will present itself more often. So pretty much people are going to be looking to sidestep to Miguel's weak side more often because his offense is now more oppressive. With this train of thought, one can say Bamco has fixed two long-standing issues he had: a weakness to opponents stepping his right side and bad hitboxes. Although the latter is still true, the vastly improved tracking ability is sort of a roundabout way to create reliable solutions to impact the opponent in lieu of inferior hitboxes. Lastly, the hitbox buff to up 4+1 is proving even this early on to be a very underrated buff. Before Season 3, this move was rightfully overlooked due to the elevated hitbox and measly +3 on block. Now that the move is +4 and the hitbox has been lowered, Miguel has effectively gained a reliable, distance closing mid poke that immediately establishes offensive pressure. And that's all I have for you guys today. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely subscribe if you already subscribed, and thanks for that first off. And if you don't mind, if you could share the video, that would be very helpful. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I'll see you guys later.